I have with me Nicole Lowe-Tarbert, who has just qualified to be a member of the Australian team to compete overseas in martial arts. Now Nicole, tell me what happened at the weekend. You went all the way to Melbourne. You had how many contests?
I had 9 contest events.
Yep. And the results were?
I got 2 seconds and 3/3.
Now Nicole, what were the events that you actually qualified in?
Full contact, points contact, freestyle sparring, sword combat, and state of origin.
And you actually helped the Victorians out in the state of origin.
Yeah.
That was very kind of you. I bet you they were pleased.
Yeah.
Now, this should put you in an Australian squad, but it's a huge trip if you actually go in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So where do you go first?
There's Japan in April.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand in November.
Yep.
And we got the Australian squad training camp in February.
Right, and there's also Europe and America involved in this too, possibly.
Yeah.
So you're going to be a world tripper and taking your talents overseas.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever fought someone, other than in New Zealand recently, have you ever fought anyone from Japan or any other country other than New Zealand?
No, not yet.
So that'll be new.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get down to this full contact event. Now just explain what full contact means. What are you able to do and what do you have to defend against?
Well, there's head contact, and then so instead of just tap contact, it's a lot harder.
So it's a full-on thump.
Yeah.
And you've got headgear on.
Yeah.
Right. And they are able to hit you as well.
Yeah.
Where do most of the hits come? Where do you get hit most often in one of those events?
Head and stomach.
Right.
More.
Now, if a thump in the stomach would take the wind out of you, wouldn't it? So how do you sort of guard against that? Do you move backwards, or do you strengthen your stomach muscles? How do you sort of combat that?
Yeah, you block or use your abs.
Right. And you've got a set of abs, I assume, that'll work. Okay. Have you ever taken a really bad hit in the, say, in the stomach that's winded you?
Yeah.
And how did it feel? Atrocious?
Yeah.
So it takes the wind out of you.
Yeah.
What about headshots? Now you've got a fair bit of padding on. Do you feel any pain from those, or is it just sort of on the helmet type thing?
You get a little bit of it depending on how hard they kick.
Right, and they can, in full contact, they can really let loose.
Yeah.
As can you. Well, tell me this is a tough question. I once asked a boxer this same question who is now fighting in America. He was a former student of mine too. When you get a kick that really hurts the person that you're against, how do you feel inside? You don't really want to hurt someone, do you?
No.
But how does it feel when you think, oh, that was a good one? How do you feel inside you?
It feels good to get a point or something, but then you feel bad for the person. The person,
yeah. And do you ever sort of go and say, oh, sorry about that? Or
yeah.
And have you been the recipient of one of those sorts of thumps?
Not yet.
Not yet? Right, but only in the belly?
Yeah.
Right. There's 2 events that had points involved. How do they work?
Well, the points contact is basically full contact, except they keep pulling you up on points that you make contact, but then you get a point for it.
Right. But you're not trying to hurt the other person, or?
No, you still are. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And what's the other points one?
Is where it's just point sparring, so there's no contact, but you still get the point for it. Right.
Okay, now let's talk about you. You're 14, you go to Cara High School. What's your favourite movie?
Harry Potter.
And you like the Harry Potter books, so you do a bit of reading?
Yeah.
Okay, which Harry Potter movie was the one that you enjoyed most so far?
The last one.
Right, and you didn't get scared?
No.
No? Do you like horror movies?
No.
No? Well, other than Harry Potter, what other movies do you remember seeing that you really enjoyed?
Any sort of sci-fi sort of fantasy.
Okay, like Star Wars and...
Oh, not Star Wars, I don't like that.
Okay. Now, you like having a read too, I'm told.
Yeah.
What sort of books do you like reading? Are they sort of teenage type books, or are they romancy books? What are they?
Teenage sort of.
But story books, not necessarily
Yes.
romance. Right. And you would be on a pretty strong training regime, particularly at the moment. Now, how does that affect your diet? So you've got to be careful what you eat, or are you just whatever?
You gotta watch what you eat, but you still get to eat some of the bad stuff.
Right. What's your favourite bad stuff?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. And the flavour?
Mint.
Mint ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got a lot of friends, I know, and you have lots of sleepovers and all the stuff that ordinary teenage girls do. So you're pretty much a normal kid who's pretty good at martial arts. Is that the best way to sum you up?
Yeah.
And Nicole, I know you got a medal the other day at school for something. What was it?
Placing top of class for English.
In English. And do you like English?
Sort of.
Well, if you read, I mean, that's part of English, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, tell me about your maths. Are you a gun at maths?
No.
No. Do you just get by?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get by pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, now, as you grow up, and you probably enjoy doing this, but I suppose as you get older, maybe you won't be so keen. Let's pretend you got married and you've got a couple of kids. Would you encourage your own kids to do this sport?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's fun, it's social, keeps you fit.
And you can protect yourself if you need to. And what else? There's a matter of discipline too, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you find the discipline in this sport a positive or a negative? Is it annoying sometimes, or is it a positive all the time?
Positive most of the time.
Right, and sometimes you think, who made that rule up? Is that right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So when a new person goes over there, let's say they're in the primary school or whatever, what's the hardest thing for them to come to grips with? Do you think? Is it the tradition of what you've got to do before you get involved, or is it just being disciplined and listening to what you need to be told?
Listening, yeah.
Yeah. And when you started, what did you find was tough?
Learning everything that everyone else
already knew.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of virtually catching up to do, I guess that's
Yeah.
the way it is. Now your next training camp is in February and it's in Sydney. And all of the kids who have qualified, or all the competitors who have qualified will be there? Or is it just for your age group, or just for people from COW? Who is it?
Everyone who qualified.
Right. Nicole, you'll be at this camp. How many people are you expecting to be there, do you think?
A fair few, yeah.
So we're talking 50, we're talking 80?
About 80, yeah.
About 80, and a lot of these people you will know because you will have come across them before.
Sort of different age divisions.
Right. Now, Nicole, you're 14, but you're not going to be able to fight anyone a whole lot older than you. Is there an age limit on who you can compete against?
Yeah.
And what's that?
15 for me.
Right. So you're not going to have one of those big sumo wrestlers from Japan, you know, to go against, you know, what are they, 20 and 30 stone or whatever they are?
No.
No. When you do sumo in this, is it like the sumo we see on TV, or is it a bit more organised than that?
A bit more organised, yeah.
But is it the same basic thing, and down your haunches and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
So it's really a fun event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all the best, and I hope we hear from you on a regular basis, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you.